All right, let's talk about something that's totally changed the game for businesses. It used to be, if you ran a solid local operation, you'd make a decent profit. Simple, right? Well, not anymore. We're going to dive into how global economics is now calling all the shots for pretty much everyone.
So let's kick things off with a question that probably hits home for a lot of you. Ever feel like you're working harder than ever before? You're putting in insane hours, your team is giving it their all, you're checking all the boxes, and yet the profits just aren't showing up? It's like being on a treadmill that's going faster and faster, but you're not getting anywhere. What is going on?
This right here, this is what we can call the manager's dilemma. It's this constant squeeze, right? On one side, you've got your costs for materials jumping all over the place. On the other, you have no idea what price you can actually sell for. It's just this massive pressure on your profits, and it really feels like you're just a ship in a storm, being tossed around by forces you can't even see, let alone control.
And you know what? The reason it feels that way is because it is that way. The old, simple profit equation we all learned, it's basically broken. The entire game has changed, and trying to play by the old rules, well, it just doesn't work.
I mean, this was the formula, wasn't it? Profit equals revenue minus cost. So simple, so clean. All you had to do was make sure more money came in than went out. And for a long, long time, if you could just manage those two things in your own little local market, you were golden. But yeah, that world is long gone.
And this slide really lays it all out. Look at the old reality. Everything was local, or at least domestic. Your customers, your suppliers, your competition, they were all in the same sandbox. But now, the new reality is that everything is global. We're talking global demand, global supply chains, global competition, even global finance. It's a whole new, massively interconnected world out there.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's make it super practical. We're going to take a look at a standard profit and loss statement, a P&L. Think of it as the report card for any business. We're going to break it down line by line and see exactly where all these global pressures are hitting.
First up, revenue, the top line. This is just the total amount of money you're bringing in. Simple enough, right? It used to be about just being better than the guy down the street. But today, it is a completely different ballgame.
So here it is on our simplified P&L. Right at the top, everything else in the business flows from this one number. So the big question is, what's putting the squeeze on it?
And we're not talking about some vague, abstract idea here. These are very real, very specific pressures. You've got direct competition from companies in places like China and South Korea who might have amazing tech and lower prices. You've got things like the WTO and free trade agreements just flooding the market with new options. All of a sudden, a local company like Godrej isn't just up against another local player. Nope, they're fighting for shelf space with giants like Haier, LG, and Samsung. And what does that mean? For the customer, it's great, more choice. For your business, it means a much, much tougher battle to get those sales.
All right, so your revenue is getting hammered from all sides. The obvious next move is to clamp down on your costs, right? Try to save money wherever you can. But that's the other half of this puzzle, and believe me, it's gotten just as tricky.
So let's shift our focus down the P&L. We're now looking at cost. This is all the money you have to spend just to create your product or provide your service. And guess what? Just like revenue, this number is now being dictated by what's happening on the other side of the world.
Think about it. The price you pay for your raw materials, say steel or plastic, isn't decided by your local supplier anymore. It's set on these giant global exchanges, like the London Metal Exchange. And on top of that, your competitors might be huge factories overseas with insane economies of scale, or their labor might be way more productive. Suddenly, just to keep your costs in check, you have to start thinking globally and managing a complex international supply chain. It's a huge shift.
But wait, there's more. It's not just about revenue and costs. Even if you manage to fight those battles, there are these other kind of sneaky economic forces lurking in the shadows, just waiting to take a bite out of whatever profit you have left.
Let's look further down our P&L. See that line? Interest. Now, you might think, oh, that's just what I pay on my loans. But it's so much more than that. That little number is directly tied to the health of the entire economy.
Okay, quick detour. You always hear these acronyms on the news, right? WPI and CPI. All they are really are two different ways of measuring inflation. The wholesale price index is for producers, and the consumer price index is for, well, consumers like you and me. And why should you care? Because these numbers, they have a direct impact on your business.
Check out this chain reaction.
It's pretty simple, actually. Step 1. The news reports that inflation is high. Step 2. To fight that inflation, the central bank raises interest rates. Step 3. The cost of your business loans goes up. And Step 4. Your profits get squeezed. Just like that, a news headline about the CPI turns into a real, hard cost hitting your bottom line.
And as if that weren't enough, you also have to worry about Forex, foreign exchange risk. It's a double-edged sword. If you import materials and your currency gets weaker, boom, your cost just went up. If you export your products and your currency gets stronger, boom, your stuff just got more expensive for your customers overseas. It's this whole other layer of crazy volatility you now have to deal with.
So when you put all of this together, what do you get? You get a completely new economic reality. The world of business has fundamentally, irreversibly changed.
And this is really the bottom line, folks. You simply cannot ignore the economy anymore. Trying to run your business in a little local bubble, that's just not possible. The global economy is now your silent business partner, and you don't get a say in the matter.
And this new reality, it gets its fingers into everything. We're talking about your working capital, your day-to-day cash, your profitability, your entire cost structure, even where your revenue comes from. All of it is now tangled up with these huge global economic forces.
And just to be clear, this isn't something that's only happening in one country. This is, as the quote says, absolutely global in nature. Managers everywhere, in every industry, are having to get used to this new reality. This level of complexity and uncertainty, this is the new normal. So, we want to leave you with one final question to think about. A question for you to take back to your own business. Is your strategy built for the world as it was, or is it built for the world as it is? Are you still playing by the old, simple rules, or have you really adapted to this complex, messy, and interconnected global game that we're all a part of now?